You wanted trees?
Well, we brought options.
All right. Are you thinking of moving to Washington and craving that Pacific Northwest lifestyle without losing convenience? Today, we are touring Olympia's most wooded neighborhoods, next to shops, I-5, and schools.
That's right. We keep hearing from folks that are looking to relocate to Western Washington that they want to find that perfect Pacific Northwest neighborhood. Well, Olympia has so many options. And hey, stick around to the end to find out which one is our favorite cozy neighborhood and to keep a lookout for our interactive drive time map. So we're standing here at Boston Harbor and it is so beautiful. Talk about a classic Pacific Northwest
Coastal vibe.
coastal vibe.
It's
Yeah, for
very
sure.
much where the water meets like the forest. The drive in
Yep.
here was gorgeous.
So pretty.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you can see the seals, the seagulls, beautiful homes.
I even caught footage of a heron.
Of a fish.
No,
okay.
a heron.
What's a heron? A bird?
Yes.
Okay, so a bird. I don't know, birds and fishes, that's her thing. But also it was cool because as we drove in, there was actually farmland too. We saw some cows and acreage. So that's something you can get out here in the Olympia area. And this Boston Harbor is in the North Olympia area, by the way, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, and we are 15 minutes from downtown. So one of the things we noticed, we stopped at one of the local neighborhood parks. It's not just your typical neighborhood park. Yes, there was basketball court and a playground and that kind of thing that you would typically see at a neighborhood park, but there was full-on trails that winded through woods. And these parks are big. I think the smallest one in this area is like 50 acres and
yeah.
the biggest one's 300 and something acres. And so when you're at that park and you're winding through the trails, you feel like you're out in the woods, like you've just driven 2 hours out of town to get to the mountains, but you're right here in town.
I think one of the things that really sticks out to us and to me is the more we come out here, the more we fall in love with this area. Olympia is pretty magical. It's beautiful. It's amazing. The people are friendly.
So true.
It's quite different from Seattle.
Yes. Yeah, you're definitely getting that quintessential Northwest vibe out here. In this area, we get that forest feel, you get lots of woodedness, but you also get this coastal vibe going on as well. This tour is one of our favorite tours. Now stick around to learn which neighborhoods are our favorite and more about the interactive drive time map of all the areas that we'll be highlighting in this video.
All right, harbor life is hard to beat, but if you want an even deeper forest vibe without losing convenience,
our next stop is where Conservancy Green meets Easy Errands. South Bay and Woodard Bay Conservancy feel like the Olympia Forest postcard. Ravines, ferns, owls at night, you get that nature first energy, but you're still 10 to 20 minutes to Olympia or Lacey.
and right here in South Bay, you have a little retail strip, coffee, errands, locally run spots that give it a small town center feel. Around it, you will see more suburban neighborhoods mixed with wooded pockets. So you can choose between tucked in the trees or easy maintenance lots.
Trails at Woodard Bay add boardwalks and water views, a perfect Saturday reset. If you are planning projects like shops, ADUs, or additions, remember that critical areas, buffers, and setbacks can shape what is possible.
Want to see it on a map? Comment map and we will send you our interactive drive time map. Now, for South Bay, we drove over to Northeast Olympia up to Johnson Point, which looks rural on the map, but lives surprisingly connected. Think wooded peninsula, quiet cul-de-sacs, and 3/4 to 5 acre home sites, some with bluffs or low bank waterfront.
The draw is private sea and evergreen canopy with Lacey and Hawks Prairie amenities just a short drive away. Some plots have neighborhood beach rights so that you can do saltwater life without that full waterfront price point.
It's mostly well and septic out here, and near bluffs, you will want a geotech to advise on long-term stability.
All right, so next, we decided to head over to explore Bush Prairie and the southeast Tumwater Greenbelts, which are a quiet but practical choice. While you'll see some wider lots than the typical tract homes, and there are pockets of nestled in the trees neighborhoods, most of it really is a little bit more dense and suburban.
With green corridors and parks laced through the neighborhoods, evening walks are part of the culture here. And you're only minutes away from Costco and I-5, so everyday life is easy here.
There are HOAs in sections with basic standards. You will occasionally hear small plane traffic from the regional airport, but it's usually pretty light.
Switching gears and heading to the Cooper Point, exploring classic West Olympia. Mossy lanes, filtered inlet peaks, and homes set back in the trees. The drive is incredible.
It really was incredible.
It is very pretty.
Housing on this peninsula ranges from ramblers to custom homes. Many lots backed up to Greenbelts, and some streets catch those saltwater glimpses. It is that errands without losing the woods balance, since you are just about 10 minutes or less to the Capitol Mall Retail Center.
Now, expect septic on many properties here as well, and watch for wetlands and low spots. Totally normal, just scope it during inspections.
For sure. So on our way back down into Olympia, we drove through the West Olympia cluster of Evergreen, Green Cove, and Cooper Creek. It is really the ultra lush and dense side of West Olympia. Ravines, creeks, and filtered light. It is the moodiest, greenest version of the city. The Evergreen State College sits on 1,000 acres of forested land with access to Puget Sound and an organic farm. With the surrounding neighborhoods, this area forms a very unique and strongly Pacific Northwest vibe.
You're gonna find all kinds of homes in this cluster area. Mid-century gyms, cabins with history, unique custom homes, and even a few modern new construction development. You feel tucked away, but you are 10 to 18 minutes to west side shops or downtown.
Some pockets have habitat overlays and wetland setbacks that shape where you can place things like sheds or decks. Let us pay off on that promise that we made. We built an interactive drive time map so that you can tap on the neighborhoods and see real world times to areas such as Downtown Olympia, West Olympia Retail, Lacey and Hawks Prairie, and even I-5.
Yeah, comment map and we'll send you the link.
So we went to several neighborhoods today in Olympia. Which one do you think was your favorite?
I think my favorite is probably Boston. I don't know.
I know, there's
It's
something
really
about
cool.
it, huh?
Yeah, it was something about it, the space, and then like being in the forest, but also being on the water at the same time.
Yeah.
Was really cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of options. We saw acreage and like farms, and we saw homes kind of tucked into the woods. Little neighborhoods that were kind of tucked into the woods. And then you also, yes, have access to the water down at Boston Harbor.
And so many parks and trails and just people walking and hanging out, even though it's fall right now and
Yes,
the weather's changing, but
that's
people still get out.
The other thing about our filming today is Olympia in the fall is stunning. Like, just so beautiful, all the colors we're seeing right now, the change in season. The other thing that I noticed about Boston Harbor and Johnson's Inlet and Cooper's Point was, even though there's no sidewalks, people were out running and walking on those 2-lane streets because the traffic was so low and it was pretty quiet out there, and so clearly people feel safe to get their exercise on those streets even though there aren't sidewalks.
And I noticed people, when there were vehicles driving on the road, there was not people driving really fast on those roads. And there's a little area of space between where the cars are and the curb, we might call it, or whatever, the green area on the roads as well.
Okay, so our favorite, I think we can both agree, is Boston Harbor.
Yes.
And then we went to Johnson's Point. And Johnson's Point was still pretty cool. It was quiet. It was definitely, it's like a quiet peninsula.
Yeah.
The thing that struck me about Johnson's Point was there was a lot more of that like farmland.
Yeah.
So if you don't want that, kind of bigger lot scenario, then there's not going to be as much inventory when you're looking out in that area. I mean, there was some of the neighborhoods and stuff, but there was a lot more of the kind of open space and kind of acreage.
So what was your thought on Cooper Point?
So to me, Cooper Point, it seemed cool. I don't think it was what the young kids say these days. It didn't hit quite the same as Boston Harbor.
It didn't hit like that, you know, like, I don't know, that's 6'7".
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it didn't quite hit the way Boston Harbor or even Steamboat did. But it was still had, you know, it had lots of trees, lots of that out there feel, right?
What really, I think, did it for me when it came to Boston Harbor, and I know I keep bringing up Boston Harbor.
Yeah, I want to talk about all the neighborhoods.
I know, I do, but you're still so close to everything, even though you feel like you're out there. Like, you're 10 minutes, 15 minutes from downtown. You're close to all the shopping. You're close to everything. But you feel like you're away from everything, and that really makes a difference to me.
Well, and let's clarify, right? It's not just Boston Harbor. Like, Boston Harbor is kind of that one area at the top of that peninsula, but it's really all of North Olympia. And yes, again, the parks, there's like 3 different really large acre parks in that area, so you get lots of options for trails and hiking and getting out on your kayak. There was kayak rentals down there, so lots of outdoor activities and fun. Very, very Pacific Northwest energy happening.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yes,
I mean, I would say Boston Harbor, Johnson's Point, Cooper's Point, and around Evergreen State College were all very Pacific Northwest energy for sure. I think Tumwater was a little bit less exciting when it comes to looking for that classic quintessential Pacific Northwest vibe.
Yeah.
I think Tumwater is still kind of a cool area and has, you know, some really cool things to offer, but it definitely has more of a suburban feel. Yeah,
it had more of a suburban feel. Now, granted, you can be in Tumwater and be out and get acreage and things like that. There is farmland and things like that, depending when you get out there. But if you're going to be in Tumwater proper, it's going to be more suburban, in a sense. And I mean, that's just the way kind of Tumwater is. Like on the outskirts, especially as you go further south in Tumwater, then you start getting into more open spaces. Out that way.
Like a lot of Tumwater originated as farmland. And then the urban sprawl has crept into a lot of that farmland. But there is some still pockets in Tumwater that have that kind of open space acreage type feel. And then we saw kind of a little bit of pockets of that nestled-in-the-woods neighborhood feel. I would say we also went through South Bay, and like the north part of South Bay, which really kind of blends into North Olympia and that Boston Harbor area. It's kind of the southeast corner of that peninsula. So there was a lot of really cool areas and neighborhoods that are definitely lots of evergreens, that Pacific Northwest feel in, you know, when you're kind of on that peninsula. But the closer to Lacey you get, it was definitely more suburban.
It was. But the nice thing is you're still close to everything.
Yeah.
Something I do want to point out is, like, when we say we do the legwork, we're not just doing this video to post on our channel. We're actually doing this for some clients. We're actually coming out here next month in about 2 weeks to come and tour the area. And they're looking for something specific. So, and they're looking in the Olympia area as one of the areas they want to check out. So we're also making this video for them to show them, hey, this is some of the areas, and help them narrow down where they want to look when they get here.
This was kind of the precursor to their visit out here. We're going to go tour different neighborhoods to kind of check some off of our list so we can narrow down the neighborhoods that we take them to when they do get here. So we turned that into our filming of our next YouTube channel video.
Yes.
So yeah, you're getting real time a glimpse into what we do for our relocation clients.
We really do put in the work. We put in the legwork to make it easier for you when you get here. We're not taking up all your time, and you can actually go out a little bit on your own and do some sightseeing and things like that, and helps it narrow everything down for you.
So one thing about Evergreen is it's definitely very wooded. Evergreen State College sits on 1,000 acres of wooded and trails and park.
Beach access.
Yes, there's beach access. There's a organic farm trail, so you can walk through their farm. So it's definitely so much Pacific Northwest energy happening around there. Now the neighborhoods around there are kind of fewer and far between. Some of the neighborhoods, it felt like the houses were really close together, and so if you're looking for, you know, a little bit more spread apart, that might not be your vibe. But in kind of the same general area, we did see some a little bit more like spread apart. The cool thing is that it still had that backdrop of evergreen trees around.
Not to mention, we drove through a neighborhood where it was like the houses were massive and huge lots and really big houses. So you've got kind of a mix of everything.
All right, what PNW feature fits your life? Saltwater, deep woods, sidewalks for long strolls through your neighborhood, or acreage with plenty of room to spread your wings?
Yes.
Tell us your vibe in the comments. We'll film a neighborhood to match.
And remember, comment map and we'll send you our interactive map from this tour. And when you're ready, book a free planning call. We will help you find the right pocket for your vibe and send a few current listings to get you started.
The link to schedule is in the description box below.
If you got value out of this tour, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us know we're on the right track and keeps you in the loop as we explore more cities around the Seattle area.
And remember, if you're planning a move to or within Western Washington, whether it's next year or next month, we're here to do the legwork, guide you every step of the way, and make your next move as easy as possible. All our contact details are right below, so don't hesitate to reach out.
Until next time,
Explore, dream, and discover the best places to call home.